For just £5 a month, you can get early access to all of our podcast episodes, copies of our script, access to further information, and that is just the tip of the iceberg. Head over to patreon.com/Sunday Night Mystery. £5 a month. That's cheaper than 15 minutes of parking at Bristol Airport. Yeah, I know, it's crazy, isn't it? Welcome back to Sunday Night Mystery, where we unravel the intricate details of some of the most baffling cases in history. I'm Brett, and tonight we delve into the tragic unsolved cases of Kate Bushell and Linda Lynn Bryant. Two women brutally murdered while walking their dogs in the serene landscapes of England's West Country. Join us as we explore the eerie connections, the relentless investigations, and the haunting mysteries that continue to haunt these communities. We'll begin with the chilling case of Kate Bushell, a story that's haunted the small village of Exwick and baffled investigators for decades. It was a quiet Saturday evening in November 1997 when 14-year-old Kate Bushell set out to walk her neighbour's dog, Gemma. Little did she or her family know that this simple routine would end in such tragedy. Kate never returned home that evening. As minutes turned into hours, her family's worry grew into panic. It wasn't until her father, Jerry, went searching that he discovered his daughter's lifeless body just 300 yards from her home. Kate's throat had been brutally slashed, her body left in a field, the dog whimpering nearby. The scene was like something out of a nightmare, and the killer had vanished without a trace. The investigation that followed was massive, with thousands of leads and countless hours of work by detectives, yet despite their efforts, the case remained unsolved. The killer seemed to have vanished into thin air, leaving behind only questions and shattered lives. In 1997, police pieced together Kate's final movements, with witnesses reporting various sightings of a blue vehicle and two unidentified men. These lines of inquiry remain key to the investigation, along with tracing the source of orange fibres found at the scene. Witnesses remember seeing Kate and Gemma, but also spotting a small blue car parked in the nearby stables lay-by where the man stood by. He was described as white, aged between 30 and 40, of average build and height, clean-shaven with dark collar-length hair. Witnesses remember seeing Kate and Gemma, but also spotting a small blue car parked in the nearby stables lay-by where the man stood by. He was described as white, aged between 30 and 40, of average build and height, clean-shaven with dark collar-length hair. Several witnesses reported seeing a running man in the area of Exwick that evening. The man's never been traced. Kate's body was found in a field which leads to Kinnerton Way, and she would have gone down a country path and across 2 stiles to get there. We must never forget that this was the murder of a child in the most horrific of circumstances. Every parent's ultimate nightmare is to lose a child, but in circumstances like this, it's the end of their world. Kate was a popular, bright girl with aspirations of attending Oxford University. She loved playing basketball and enjoyed her involvement with her church. Kate was also extremely musical. She played the saxophone, the clarinet, and the piano. Her vile killer remains elusive. The identity of this poor excuse for a human being still shrouded in darkness. Now, over 2 decades later, the question still lingers. Who killed Kate Bushell, a child with such a zest for life? Was it a random act of violence, or was there a darker motive at play? There's a very good chance that the utter scum is still alive. So the possibility of justice still remains. As investigators combed through evidence and interviewed witnesses, eerie similarities between this and another murder emerged. The story of Lynn Bryant, a housewife whose routine dog walk ended in tragedy, bore striking similarities. It was a rainy afternoon on October the 20th, 1998, almost a year after the murder of Kate Bushell, when Lynn Bryant set out for her usual stroll with her lurcher, Jay. Little did she know, she was about to encounter her worst nightmare. Lynn was last seen chatting with a mysterious man near the Rouen Methodist Chapel, dressed oddly light for the weather. Shortly after, her body was discovered in a field gateway, brutally attacked with multiple stab wounds. The investigation that followed revealed a series of puzzling events leading up to Lynn's murder. A partial DNA profile offered a glimmer of hope, and investigators have been tirelessly comparing samples from across the country in hopes of identifying the killer. But the road to justice is paved with unanswered questions. At a press conference, Detective Chief Inspector James Dowler revealed that critical witness reports of 3 unknown men seen in the area remain key to the investigation. Despite appeals and rewards, these individuals have never come forward. Lynn's final moments paint a picture of normalcy shattered by violence. From her morning at work to a routine trip to the garage, every detail has been scrutinised for clues. Yet the identity of her attacker remains elusive. The reappearance of Lynn's glasses months after her death raise chilling questions. Why were they returned to the crime scene? Was it a sinister gesture by the killer, or a desperate attempt to conceal evidence? But then, former British Police Intelligence Officer Chris Clark investigated the cases, further suggesting that an earlier murder also bore striking similarities to the murders of Kate and Lynn. Chris takes us back to a peaceful stroll through Warlbury Woods in 1987, a story featured in one of our earlier episodes that turned into a nightmare for Helen Fleet. Stabbed, beaten, strangled, her death sent shockwaves through Weston-super-Mare, leaving detectives grasping for answers in a labyrinth of darkness. As detectives continue to piece together the puzzle, one thing remains clear. Lynn's killer likely had a local connection. The isolated murder location suggests a deeper familiarity with the area, fueling speculation about the perpetrator's motives. The investigation revealed tantalizing clues, creating a mysterious link to the later murders. A youth seen conversing with Helen, figures seen fleeing the scene, the whispers of a connection to a troubled local boy. Nearly a decade later, in the quiet hamlet of Exwick in Devon, another young life was extinguished. 14-year-old Kate Bushell. Then, in the peaceful countryside of Cornwall, Lynn Bryant met a similar fate while walking her lurcher near her home in Rouen High Lanes. 3 murders, 3 lives lost to the darkness, yet linked by threads unseen. As detectives pursued every lead, the ghosts of the past haunted their every step. From Weston-super-Mare to Exwick to Rouen High Lanes, the truth remained elusive, slipping through their fingers like mist on the moors. Over the years, various suspects emerged, including individuals with potential links to the area and previous criminal records. DNA profiles and forensic evidence provided glimmers of hope, but the killer remained unidentified. Speculations arose about possible connections to other unsolved murders in the region, fueling fears of a serial killer at large. Despite relentless efforts by police and ongoing media coverage, the cases remain unsolved. Decades later, their families continue to seek closure, haunted by the memories of their loved ones' tragic deaths. But amidst the uncertainty, one thing is certain. The memory of Lynn, Kate, and Helen lives on, a beacon of hope for justice. And as we navigate the twists and turns of this unsolved case, we are reminded that even in the darkest of nights, the truth will eventually come to light. The killer must know. He will be caught, and justice will prevail. As we delve deeper into the enigma of these cases, we're reminded that even the smallest piece of evidence could change everything. And for families who still await justice, every lead, every clue brings them one step closer to closure and justice. Perhaps the most chilling of all, could the same person be responsible for other unsolved murders in the area? Is the West Country home to a serial killer? As we reflect on these chilling mysteries, let's remember Kate, Helen, and Linda, not as statistics, but as beloved daughters, mothers, and members of their communities. Their untimely deaths serve as a reminder of the darkness that lurks even in the most serene corners of our world. Join us next time as we delve into another enigmatic case on Sunday Night Mystery. If you have any information about the cases mentioned tonight, please contact your local authorities. Stay safe, and until next time, keep questioning, keep searching, keep unraveling the mysteries of the world. The smallest piece of information could break any of our cases wide open. Time, like a merciless predator, marches on, leaving behind shattered dreams and broken promises, yet amidst the shadows of despair, glimmers of hope remain. Join us next week as we delve into another chilling mystery that continues to confound investigators and haunt communities. Until then, stay vigilant and never forget those who've been lost to the shadows. I'm Brett, and I'll see you next time on Sunday Night Mystery. Stay curious, stay vigilant, and be sure to guard yourself against the darkness that surrounds us all. We'll see you next week on Sunday Night Mystery.